Welcome everyone to our restorative yoga practice. Have ready either a girdle ball or a block or something like a block. So have a girdle ball, a block, or something like a block available and near your mat. Place a soft blanket on the ground if you haven't already, so you have extra softness for your body. We set up comfortably so that you can reduce tension more easily in the practice. So think of the setup as part of the preparation to reduce tension and to cultivate greater self-care. So as you learn how to create comfort, this naturally rolls into your life where you create comfort in other areas of your life as well. So we're setting up, being prepared with props of a girdle ball or a block, something like a block if you don't have one, a bolster, alternatively, a thick rolled blanket so that you have something as a higher prop for later on. So get prepared with all the nice restorative additions. And we are going to begin in what's called constructive rest pose. So setting up again for the body to rest deeply. It's not a posture or a practice of collapsing. However, it is a practice of being fully engaged from your mind into your body, cultivating a mind-body connection. So let's begin by lying down. Place your weighted blanket over your legs. Have your legs hip-width apart. Slide your hips close to your heels and lie down. As you lie down, close your eyes and observe how are you weighted to the ground. How is your body imprinting to the ground? I'd like you to first observe all of the parts of you that are not in contact with the ground. Back of your neck, shoulders perhaps, lower back, the backs of the knees and legs, perhaps the arches of your feet. Now observe what parts are in contact with the ground. So notice what part of the back of your head is in contact with the ground. Notice how much of your shoulders are on the ground, your elbows and your hands. Now observe your rib cage. How much of your rib cage is in contact with the ground? And is there a balance between the left and right sides? Next, observe your pelvis. Are you weighted more towards the lower back or more towards your tailbone? And observe your feet. How much of your feet are in contact with the ground? Do you feel the most outer edges or inner edges, heels or balls of your feet? Or is there an evenness throughout your feet? Now I'd like to invite you to observe how you are breathing. How is the body responding to your breath? Is there ease in your breath or not? And can you consider inviting in a full but easeful breath? To begin that process, focus on your exhalation. As you exhale, follow the breath fully out of your body. Maybe there's a little effort to empty. Then invite an easeful inhalation. Take a few more rounds of breath in this way, following your exhalation and inviting an easeful inhalation. Notice if your exhalation is slowly lengthening. If the inhalation is becoming a little bit more free. And now let that go. And we're going to further the communication inward by coming to your eyes. Rub your hands together to create warmth. Once you create warmth in your hands, place your warm hands over your closed eyes. Circle your eyeballs slowly, up, over, down, over. Take 4 slow circles of your eyes. Now rewarm your hands. Cup the hands over your eye sockets again and circle your eyes 4 times slowly to the other direction. This time, leave the hands over the eyes for a few breaths. Let your eyes sink down. Your eyes, your mind, and your nervous system are in close communication. So as you rest your eyes consciously, you begin to soothe your nervous system and quieten your mind. So before you release the hands from your eyes, reobserve how the breath is moving in your body. And then slowly let the hands rest. Take a moment to readjust to the light. And now you're going to bring in your first prop. So either grabbing the girdle ball or your block and place one of these underneath of your neck, right at the edge of your skull. We're going to slowly roll the head and neck left to right. Now, if you do find that this firm block is too much, simply place the girdle ball, alternatively, a soft blanket at the edge of your skull, rolling your head from side to side. Just nice and slowly. Imagine if your head were made of sand and every grain of sand wanted to be felt. So it's a slow motion from side to side. Allow your eyes to be resting in, your jaw to be soft, the head and neck rolling slowly. Today's practice is going to take you on a journey of your 6 diaphragms to help you feel more balanced, to support more free breathing, and to give you a greater sense of stability. So take a few more rounds from side to side, just nice and slowly. Maybe your breath has shifted or softened. Notice. Now returning to center, just visualize the back of your neck, the base of your skull, breathing in to the ball or the block. Take a few rounds of breath here. Okay, before we move along, I'd like you to visualize from the top of your spine, C1, the base of your skull, all the way to your tail. Visualize a S shape or a wave moving along your whole spine. So your pelvis and your head and neck are rocking together. So visualize that the whole spine is in a wave of motion from your head to your tail. So again, this can be really refined, really subtle, or more broad. So I'm just showing you both. So more broad is more obvious. My preference is more subtle. So now you can even take this into such a subtle practice that you visualize your spine itself in the shape of a wave, a swishing motion from head to tail. So there's not really a lot of visual movement because it's internal. Take a few more rounds of a swishing motion, whether that be more prominent or more subtle. And now let that go. As you let that go, reobserve your body, your breath, the imprint of your body on the earth. And now you're going to release the block or the ball from your neck, but place it on top of your head. Massage onto the crown of your head with the ball or the block, noticing if there are any areas of tension or tenderness on the crown of your head. So moving the block or the ball over the crown of your head. Explore different areas of the crown. So moving towards more of the back, moving towards more of the front, moving from side to side. And now we're going to let that go. As you let that go, place your block aside or your ball aside. Take away the blanket. Draw your knees in and give them a hug. Rock them around. Circle your hips. Knees and hips circling. So again, these could be very small motions or broader. Okay, changing the direction of your circle. And coming back to center, draw your knees closer to your chest, lift your feet, hold your feet or your ankles, and come into happy baby, adding a rocking motion of your body. And now let that go. Roll yourself to one side. Lie on your side for a moment or two, noticing your body and breath. Notice if your spine feels a little bit more free. And when you're ready, press yourself up. As you press yourself up, take a seat and let's work with the shoulder girdles now. So you're going to observe your shoulders. Create a seat that feels comfortable. So perhaps that's elevating your seat. And once you elevate your seat and you're sitting upright, let's assess how the shoulder girdle is moving. Begin by rolling your shoulders. Try not to cut the corners. So rolling them up, back, down, forward. And now rolling them the other direction. Again, try not to cut the corners, roll the shoulders fully. If you're hearing crickles and crackles, that's okay. Know that that's just a sign the finer tissues are tight. Not a sign of aging, just tight tissues. All right, let that go. Broaden out here, reach wide through the arms. Broaden through the hands, reach through your arms. And now draw the right arm close, the left wraps under the elbow. Wrap around to hold your opposite hand. If that's not possible, just hug your arm. Okay, add a little rock of your rib cage. And now round down. Round down, look towards your abdomen, rest your head. And feel the breath moving at the back of your shoulder blades. Inhale, slowly rise, broaden the arms. We'll change sides. Left arm close, right wraps under. Remember, you can just hug the arm or wrap. Adding a rocking motion of your rib cage. From here, round down, let your head rest. Let the shoulders roll down, your head rests. Again, feeling into the back of your shoulder blades as you breathe. Inhale, slowly roll up and release, shake them out. Come back to the beginning where we rolled the shoulders and notice if this is feeling a touch more free for you. Change the direction. This can be done at any time of any day. So if you have regular tension here, just remember to shake them out, roll them as often as you can. All right, let that go. Next, we're working with an area that the warning is this may not feel comfortable, but we're going to work with the lat muscles, which can have an effect on the shoulder girdle. For this, you'll want to have your block or your book. If you find your hip feels achy on the ground, add a soft blanket like this underneath of your hip. Okay, so you're going to lie now onto your side. We're working with 3 points, right at your armpit, 1 notch down, 1 notch down. Okay, so start here. Lie onto the block or the book at your armpit, support your head. This hand for balance. Your knees in front of your hips. And now we're going to roll forward and back over the tissues here. Forward and back over the tissues. When you find a really tight spot, feel free to stay on that. Breathe into it. You could rock on it. And like I said, this may not feel great, depending on the tightness you have here. Okay, take a few more rolls from front to back over the tissues. And slowly return to neutral. Take the block down a notch. So from right at the armpit down 1 notch. This might be a little bit better. It might not. Roll forward and back. When you find a really tight spot, stay there, breathe into it. Stay with the practice, observing sensations, observing breath. Remember to roll all the way to the back as well as to the front. Take just a few more rocks. All right, let that go. Take the block down just 1 more notch. So as we have moved from armpit, next level down, you're getting closer to your midline. So observe, are there any sensations at the midline, meaning into the psoas muscles, the hip flexors? So we are working with the lat muscles, but something to note is that your lat muscles are in relationship with your iliopsoas. And in an ideal relationship, they're in a beautiful tango, a dance that's graceful. Not one partner pulling the other around the dance floor. So interesting information here. Lats are reaching you out into the world. Psoas is reaching you down. They're in a tango. They're communicating. Notice what you feel here. Notice your breath. Holding on areas that feel extra tight. Breathing into them. Okay, we're going to wind this side up, take the block away, rise up to take a seat. So before we move to the other side, close your eyes and observe, how is the side you just worked with breathing? How is your shoulder position? How is that side of the body feeling? Hopefully you're feeling more free. Let's now explore the other side. So as you swap sides, take the block again to the armpit. Support your head. This hand to help you balance, and you're rolling over your tissues, front to back. So again, any area where you feel a lot of tension, hold there, breathe into it. Remember to rock to the back as well as to the front. You may have noticed that this might be tighter or more free than the first side. So just simply observe what's the information here for you. Okay, we're taking the block from the armpit down one notch and exploring again, rolling from front to back. What sensations do you feel? How is your breath as you work with this area of your body? Take a couple more breaths, couple more rocks. And now we move the block down. So you've moved from armpit, next notch, and then the next notch down. This is where we're moving into a greater awareness of the deep center. What sensations do you feel, if any, moving from the lat into your deep center? Notice your breath. Remember to hold on any area that feels extra tight. Breathe into that. And one or two more rocks right here before we move along. Okay, begin to slowly rise up. Take a seat. As you take a seat, close your eyes and observe. How are both sides breathing now? How are your shoulders positioned? And do you feel any sensations in your deep center of softness or ease? Okay, we're going to move into the hips now, which have an effect on the pelvic diaphragm, which has an effect on the diaphragms moving upward. So just to clarify, when we work with the 6 diaphragms, that's horizontal tissue, crown of your head, base of your skull, the shoulder girdle, your respiratory diaphragm, that's like a jellyfish or a dome moving up and down in the middle of your body, your pelvic girdle, pelvic diaphragm, it's not a floor, it's not hard, ideally. And finally, your plantar fascia, the bottoms of your feet. So we'll get there, we're moving our way down. To get into the hips more, you're wanting to use your bolster now as an option. Alternatively, if you don't have a bolster, this is where your thick rolled blanket comes in. So you have your thick rolled blanket or your bolster as a prop. All right, I'm going to demonstrate 3 options. First, and usually the most intense, is that one leg is under, one leg is over, even if that leg were more upright. So this is option 1. Then you rest forward onto your bolster or your blanket. Option 2 is a cross-legged position, not as intense as the first variation. And again, leaning forward. Option 3, if your knees are not going to be comfortable in either of these first 2 options, you're here, with one leg in front of the body, the opposite drawn in, and this is the upside down version. Okay, choose one of those 3 versions and rest forward onto your prop. Rest your head. If you don't have a high prop or you need more support, your chin under your hands. Let yourself sink forward and down. If you're in the upside down version, let your hips draw in. And now rocking your body in whichever version you're in from side to side. Now let yourself come to stillness. Sink forward a touch more if that's possible. Notice the flow of breath. Remain here for a few more breaths. Now begin to slowly rise, to take the legs, open them out, tap them out. And now we'll swap sides. So opposite leg in front or on top. Remember, the alternate version is upside down version like this. So choosing what works best for you on this side, taking your bolster or your blanket as your prop and fold forward. Rest your chin, rest your head. Now add a side to side rocking motion. Gentle side to side rock. Coming into stillness, let yourself sink down. Sinking down. Follow your breath. Remain with awareness on your breath. Taking a few more breaths here, resting in. Begin to slowly rise. Putting the props aside for now. Release your legs, tap them out. And to further loosen into your hips, widen your legs a little bit wider than your hips and swing your legs, swing your hips from side to side. So your legs could land all the way down to each side, or the motions may remain more small. Just take a few more rocks from side to side. And now let that go. As you let that go, I know we've entered into a couple things that may not have felt great, the base of your skull and the lats. One more area that the warning is it may not feel great, and that is to get into your feet, the plantar fascia. So ideally you want your feet to be really supple and free. And in time, the practice I'm introducing you to wants to feel great, or at least if not great, wants to feel okay. So options are have a block for support, or a bolster, or blanket. Let me start again with what will be the more intense of the three options. When you rise to your knees, you'll curl your toes and sit up over your feet. Now, if this is too much, second option is lean forward like this onto your block. So you're taking the weight from your feet, putting it forward. Option 3 would be to take your rolled blanket or your bolster and sit onto that. Okay? So choosing what's going to work best for you. And once you take your seat onto your feet, so you want your toes curled under, stretching into your plantar fascia. This is option 2, is leaning forward away from your feet. And actually, I would like to demonstrate a fourth option. For anyone that finds that kneeling is just not possible, you're seated and draw your toes towards you. So you have a comfortable seat, as comfortable as you can on the ground. Draw the toes of one of your feet towards you, and you can rock that foot as well. So right now, if you're kneeling, you're rolling over your toes, over your feet, big toe to pinky toe. If you're seated, because you can't kneel, rocking the foot from left to right. So with restorative yoga, there's always options. Okay? Choices that help you navigate around your body and your body's restrictions. Okay, whichever version you're in, release and tap out your feet. And let's explore one more time, just one more time only, curling your toes, sitting upright or sitting forward. Alternatively, you're seated, you're drawing the toes of the opposite foot in towards you. Whichever version you're in, rock your body or your foot side to side. So in time, with practice, this wants to become free and easy. So if you're not there yet, don't worry, most people are not. Other ways that you can help your feet would be to walk barefoot as much as possible, to walk on uneven surfaces. You have 23 bones, 33 joints in your feet. You have your plantar fascia, which is the connective tissue that runs all the way up, communicating up to your crown. So ideally, your feet are free, which affects the freedom of the rest of your body, including your breath. All right, come back to neutral, take away your props, tap out your feet. And let's take a seat, if you weren't already in your seat, and draw both feet out. And knees could be out or in, but stretch a little bit more into your plantar fascia by drawing the toes towards you. And again, you could add a rock here. Okay, release that. Take a moment to simply come into a seat, close your eyes, and observe. From when we began, is your breath moving any more freely? Does your body feel more open somewhere? And is your mind more at ease being here with your body and breath? We are now going to prepare for relaxation. But before we go into relaxation, the last posture is a really simple inversion that will involve you rolling over your blanket or your bolster. I'll demonstrate. Having the blanket or bolster behind your hips, sit the hips back, lift your legs towards the sky. Add in gentle circles or pulses of your ankles and feet to further free them. Now shake out the legs. Think of soft knees, soft hips, soft ankles. And allow stillness to now be your state. So feel stillness in your feet, knees, hips, a softness of breath, your shoulders and head and neck yielding to the earth. Visualize each breath as a wave of nourishment. Gradually letting your legs travel down towards your chest where you can give your knees a hug. Take a few moments here. Visualize the quality of ease in all of you. Now I'll invite you to gradually prepare for your most comfortable version of relaxation. So that may be the blanket or bolster under your knees, your body resting down. You could come back to constructive rest. Come into your most comfortable lying position. I'm going to guide you on a journey of being more present to your earth connection. Bring your awareness to all the parts of you that are in contact with the earth. Really feel those points of contact with the earth. And visualize roots from you moving through the soft soil of the earth, down through the rocky terrain, to the molten lava core of the earth. To Mother Earth's home of personal power and vitality. Then visualize from the Earth's core, power, vitality, the energy moving back through the rocky terrain, through the soft soil, and back to you. A connection to the earth. Feel your earth connection. And slowly come back to an awareness. Slowly come back to an awareness of yourself lying here on the earth. To notice your body, your breath, your mind. Do you feel more free, more open, more balanced? And as you feel ready to reawaken, you'll add some gentle motion of the body, moving fingers or toes, stretching long or hugging in. Take your time to gradually reawaken. To roll yourself to one side. And in your own timing, roll yourself to a comfortable seat, to rise up to a comfortable seat, which may be elevated on your blanket. Again, no rush, take your time. When you do come to a comfortable seat, rest your hands down as a gesture of moving in. With your hands rested down, close your eyes. Notice how your body is responding to breath now. Notice if there is less tension somewhere. The diaphragms of your body are like the skin of a drum. When they are toned and balanced, there's a rhythm. If one of these areas is overly tight, that disrupts through the entire body and system. Observe yourself. Is there a more balanced feeling of body, breath, and mind? And I'm going to close with a sharing from Donna Falls, a poem called Just for Now. Just for now, without asking how, let yourself sink into stillness. Just for now, lay down the weight you so patiently bear upon your shoulders. Feel the earth receive you, and the infinite sky grow even wider as your awareness reaches up to meet it. Just for now, allow a wave of breath to enliven your experience. Breathe out whatever blocks you from the truth. Just for now, be boundless, free, with awakened energy. Drink in the possibility of being who and what you really are, so fully alive that the world looks different, newly born and vibrant, just for now. Your hands now come together to your heart. Take this moment to acknowledge your earth connection, to acknowledge the practice of being more aware of your moment-to-moment sensations so that you can respond to the moment-to-moment changes in life. And now acknowledge yourself for making time today for your practice. Namaste.